Now, there's growing confusion in the camp of the governing New Patriotic Party as Majority Leader in Parliament, Oseche Mensah-Bonsu, is outraged at what he refers to as unfounded allegations against him. You would recall that some 80 New Patriotic Party MPs recently called for the immediate dismissal of the Finance Minister and the Minister of State at the Finance Ministry. According to them, the continuous stay of Ken Ofori-Atta in office is delaying the IMF bailout the country is seeking due to the fact that the minister has lost all credibility. They had thus petitioned the president to either remove him or face a boycott in parliament. Subsequently, in a JoyNews interview, the majority leader said the entire caucus was in alignment for the call for the embattled finance minister's removal.
Then it was a decision that had the support of so many of them. So thereafter, I had a meeting of the entire caucus. Incidentally, the caucus, the generality of the caucus, I would say 95% of them aligned with the position of the smaller group in the caucus. And so it meant that we needed to take some major action. That was Tuesday. And we ferried the sentiments to the president. The president caused the meeting of the entire caucus. Once again, we met, and he made just a similar appeal as I had made. Sometimes when these matters come from elders in the party, they carry more weight. And so I think eventually they said that they will recline to consider what the president had told them. So when we reclined, we had a caucus meeting here. We debated the issues, and I stranded them out. One, first, the conclusion of the negotiation with the IMF. After a while, we had some agreement on that. Some were saying that, well, after the event, he should leave and hand over to another person to present the budget. But eventually, that one was also acceded to. And then it was, okay, if he presented the budget, you should leave. And I appeal to them that you don't have the situation when the person who presents the budget on behalf of the president and whose name is stamped on the budget, then will have to exit for another person to present the appropriations bill. So eventually, after a marathon meeting with my colleagues, a 6-hour meeting, all these three proposals that I had put before them were agreed to.
Now, according to the majority leader, Gabi Asare-Ochre-Darko, an MPP stalwart and a finance minister's cousin, has accused him of instigating the call by some majority members for the removal of the finance minister.
Last weekend, you know, Ken Pentecostal Council for Kushia, and there's all council be. That's some no Yakukum assembly, a then assembly BP. Because I mean, you no Mushia meeting, then you be a press crowd. And I'm saying in response to assembly BBC and so and Walker, they are to Bible, so if you say, Yame, you say, maybe a drone. One way free. How no more. Until officer is been ordained by God to do that. Now, in Kasem and Kenya Simbia. Only AGI, Association of Ghanaian Industries, AGI. So when I'm saying, and also Castle, Unime Hawa Ghana for now he believes that he's the best person to do so be yefi Safna Yabemu. Sandy me no Kabumono, Sansi me no, a Piabonting, and I shall go for and then say, Nipani B. Ekubu ebu fufu enti eko mrashe bedwemu no na kese akoye hawo na akofa dede fufu asanyaba timno muhia e brother no na sase mi kopie no kwasem na mi na mente sase no kra na sase ko pie no mo se o enu nti no afedi omunti papa no kra bio na se one way best person they will let him know say the other people meet me lead on mine no I want to ask him no makasa ya nti ya wada send the name kono because chief of staff any party no nanke pe council of elders cross na almost no makasa because so bia ho nipa no woni mu ya em fone kakra yeah nti me free meeting Akoye meeting with Lisa, Chief of Staff or party chairman, General Secretary, and I think one of the vice chairs. Ebaho. So now mood.
So what does this mean for the governing MPP? Joining us on Zoom is Dr. Kwesi Boateng, a political science lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Doc, thank you so much for joining us. What's the potential impact of what's happening on the governing MPP?
Thank you for the opportunity, and let me say good morning to your watchers and possibly listeners. We have on our hands a house divided and at a very critical moment in the life of the whole country and the government of Ghana. And then the house is the ruling party. A lot of things have happened of late, all emanating from the terrible economic situations that we find ourselves in here in Ghana. I look at it from this angle. One, the action of the MPP members of parliament in calling on the president to sack the finance minister, then the other person from the office of the president, to me, flows from what many Ghanaians have been saying for some time now. Civil society activists, people from academia, members of the opposition party, and then eventually the MPP itself. At the same time, we have a continuous deterioration of the city.
Yes, but Doc, in the midst of all of this, the majority leader and Gabi Ochre-Daku, who is seen as a very powerful person in this government, even though in the shadows. What does this clear confusion, mean to the MPP? What sort of impact will it have on the fortunes of the party?
If we look at the fortunes of the party vis-a-vis the next general elections, then I would say that it is dim, actually. It is very dim. You look at it from what happened to the president in Ashanti region. Some time ago, before President Nana Addo came into office, here in Kumasi, anytime he came here, everything came to a halt, standstill, women lying on the floor with their clothes and people singing his praises. And then he comes to the same place and you have people hooting at him. And many people said that he could not even stand in his the open top of the vehicle. The vehicle was locked and he simply couldn't engage the members of the public. People who know how he has been going about things here in Kumasi were wondering, because that he would normally get down, buy an orange, buy some corn, and then we'll be eating it, engaging individuals. He comes here this time, they hoot at him. Majority leader comes here, he was hooted at, he threw water sachet at him. One, a vote of no confidence in Nana Danko as an individual.
Well, that's fine. So in this seeming confusion between the majority leader and Gabi Ochre-Daku, what is the way out? How should the party approach this matter?
You see, I've listened to that thing on the internet, the full interview that the majority leader granted. And he asked a very significant question. The locus of Gabi Ochre-Daku in the government structure here in Ghana. What should people do? The time has come for the party to come strong and allow government to work the way it has been structured. There's no place for Gabi Ochre-Daku. So the time has come for him to simply step aside. And if he knows it or not, he's one of the reasons that these things are happening. You see, when the majority in parliament comes out to say what they are saying, in a way, they are forcing the hand of the president to do the needful. Quickly, let me relate to Dr. Bawumia's response to what came out of analysis investigation. Dr. Bawumia writing that Mr. Dubois should be, quote, summarily dismissed, end of quote. is an indication that he is also fed up with something that he knows, and he was also tying the hands of the president, of his boss, virtually giving him no option, no alternative than to act the way he, Dr. Bawumia, sees it. In a way, Dr. Bawumia dictating for the president. No, we are in interesting times when a president has lost credibility, complete legitimacy. The party is in bad business.
Okay.
And I see the action of the majority as an attempt to salvage something. What holds in store for the party? Something very terrible. I don't expect any miracle to happen between now and the time we go to the polls. One, because of time. Two, Ghana is not going to get any massive injection of capital from anywhere. And when this injection of capital comes, because we have not built the structures, how are they going to get the economy to fare better?
Okay.
Because the structures that will make the economy work domestically, our control over food that we eat here, we don't have structures down to ensure this. So in a short run, even if you inject capital, the outcome will be abysmal.
Okay. All right. I'm grateful to you, Doc, for joining us here on NewsDesk on the JoyNews channel. Now, that's Dr. Kwesi Amakye-Boateng. He is with the Political Science Department, University of Technology in Kumasi.